Hey, what it do, y'all? From my perspective, real women are actually rare. Since I make the difference between woman and female, overall, this is what I mean. So you see a lot of people married. You think they're married, but they're really not married. Not what you think. Because if they were married, why divorce? If you were together with somebody, why break up? Well, that's because they weren't fully together. That's the only reason why you see divorces, and that's the only reason why you see breakups, or you see someone that wants to move on from somebody else. Because I've always said, and I'll always continue to say that love never dies. Now, even though a lot of people are starting to believe that the feminine gender doesn't have the capability of loving, she does have a purpose, and within her purpose is love. Now, she needs to be taught the other things amongst her in regards to her getting around a real man. And that's really how she learns how to be a real woman. It takes a real man to teach her how to be a real woman. But ladies, what I mean by this is you learn how to be his type of woman. See, the only reason why you might struggle with having a relationship per se, because you haven't learned anything from the previous relationships that you had, or you didn't want to learn, but you gotta want to learn sometime, or get around someone that's actually trying to show you this is how our relationship needs to be, versus you thinking this is how a relationship needs to be. So in essence, a man will also say, this is how I want you to be a woman in my life, versus saying this is how you should be a woman. And I think that's what's key to me saying that real women are rare. They are. What you have is a lot of these typical females that don't know what it's like to be a real woman. They are only in it for such a time, and then they'll leave. They'll say things like, I didn't get anything out of that relationship. Or they'll cause the divorce. You got that too. But that's supposed to be a time where you stick around with the guy. So why would you waste your time sticking around with a certain guy if you're not trying to be with him? If he's not trying to show you things? If you haven't even learned anything from him? See, it's not about the money. But that's what it comes down to, because this idea that a lot of them think that you have to be around a guy and he has to be a provider. He has to be financially stable. He has to have himself together, whatever that's supposed to mean. But sweetie, since we're speaking on the word together, if you're his rib, well, what does the rib do? The rib holds things together. So this part about togetherness is kind of vague. Sure, he'll have some things going for him, but you actually are supposed to be there to help him keep things together. And this is why I say real women are rare, because most typical females won't even understand what I just said, or they don't even know of these things, or they don't even want to know of these things. Most of them are the type that will be getting into arguments all the time. Now, shout out to the real women that understand where I'm coming from with what I'm saying. This type of feminine gender, she does not get into arguments with the man that's in her life, given that she's being a real woman in his life. What you really see with all these breakups and divorces are females that did not deserve to be in that woman's position, if you will. They say things like, well, I won't do wife things if I'm not his wife, or I won't do girlfriend things if I'm not his girlfriend. Excuse me. But here's the thing. How does he know if you are capable of being his, I guess, girlfriend or wife if you don't show him that? So you can't get around that. You can't get around saying you only will do this and that until I am this and that. How are you going to know that you're this and that if you're not showing it? Well, here's the thing. She hasn't proved it, nor has she earned it. So I would say a lot of them, for the most part, haven't proven that they are actually real women in a lot of men's lives. They haven't proven that. This goes beyond this idea of a virtuous woman or an enigmatic woman that I've been talking about. It's just about being a woman. Being a woman to me is just being a woman of a man, being connected to a man, being attached to that man as his rib. That's just basic. And a lot of them don't even cover those bases. I'd say the problem with femininity, the way that needs to be solved, is that a lot of them need to get back to the basics. And fellas, you too, get back to the basics of the way she needs to be in your life. Signing out.